Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of J Bros Cooking. I'd eat that. And what are we doing today, John?
Today we're reviewing a Thanksgiving dinner, huh?
Looks like it.
If you guys have been following, you know I was in the hospital and I was doing quite a few hospital reviews on the different foods, a couple dinners, some breakfast items. You know, Joe was like, too bad you didn't get the chance, John, to see what they were serving on Thanksgiving. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not really too upset about that.
He wasn't too disappointed.
I guess we would say, well, that people say partner in crime, but I guess we'll say partner in chemo. Laura London, she's, I won't say lucky, but she is happened to be in the hospital for Thanksgiving, and she's been a fan, and she's been following our reviews. Decided to go ahead and do a little J Bros review of their Thanksgiving dinner. So we're going to take it on over to her and see what she's got to say about this Thanksgiving dinner that the hospital is serving.
All right.
So this is my food tasting video inspired by J Bros Cooking. I'd eat that. If you ever had asked me, Laura, will you do a food rating video? I'd say, probably not. Would you do one on hospital food? And I'd be like, no, where would I ever do that? How about, to make it even more special, a Thanksgiving version of hospital food? I'd probably say that's never gonna happen. And yet here I am. So I'm excited to dive into this lovely meal, and I will show you in true J Bro Cooking form. Here it is. It's got the turkey and it's got the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the green beans, and it's quite perfect except for that guy. What about that little guy?
That is a little scary.
I don't want to worry about that little guy. Super Troopers, anybody? So, it looks pretty good. I'm excited.
I'll be honest, we're gonna cut in here right now. I've had their mashed potatoes. Once they were good, second time, they're real mashed potatoes, but lumpy and very undercooked.
Are they powdered or are they real?
No, it was real mashed potatoes because it was like you were biting into like chunks of uncooked mashed potato the second time.
Right.
But they did have real potatoes. All right, continue, Laura.
not super hot, but in the kitchen, I think they tried to make it out of scratch, by hand. I can't even talk right now, for me. And it definitely looks like it's gonna need a lot of salt, but I put salt on everything. I put salt on salt. So I'm gonna salt this bad boy.
Most of their stuff was under seasoned.
Oops. I don't drop
Get it with that
now.
salt.
And then it didn't come with it, but I asked for it anyway. A roll with butter, but the roll was not hot. So as you can tell, my thought process of the butter melting didn't work out. And then traditional pumpkin pie. Not a big fan of pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
But since
But it's hard to mess up
this
pumpkin
is
pie.
going to be pretty much what I have. I'm excited to do this. I am definitely not going to do it on camera. Being in a poodle inspired sweater is enough embarrassment for me. I don't need to add to that by shoving food in my mouth.
So Laura's gonna go ahead and give that food a review, and she'll be back in just a minute to let us know what she thought. The green beans.
Yeah, it looks like they overkilled it with the green beans.
I'd say there's a
lot of green beans.
A lot of green beans on that
Like
plate.
they were trying to fill that plate up with something, and it wasn't turkey.
And I'm not a green bean fan. Turkey looked like very little turkey on there. And my fear there is, with turkey, if it gets stuck sitting in a warmer, any type of like white meat poultry like that.
Yeah, it's already a dry meat pretty much.
Yeah,
So.
it's going to dry out. And then I think she said there was stuffing. And now, as you know, recently I just became a stuffing fan. So
We're going to get corrected though, right?
dressing.
It's probably dressing.
Yeah, not stuffing. And then I think she said what else? There was pumpkin pie. Now, the pumpkin pie probably store-bought, or I mean, not store-bought, but, commercial. But
Yeah, it's probably coming frozen and you warm it up. But maybe not. Maybe there's...
But very hard to mess up pumpkin pie anyways.
Yeah, and frozen pumpkin pie
Yeah,
is usually pretty decent.
Yeah,
It's
I've never really had a bad, even if you like it, I've never really had a bad pumpkin pie before. So before we go back to Laura real quick, Let's give a prediction. What do you think, Joe? We saw what the meal looked like. She told us. She gave us a description of everything. Now, I have a little bit more personal understanding of where hospital food's coming from.
You know, I've spent my fair.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't live in a hospital for months at a time, but I'd be in there for 3 or 4 days at a time. And I was at that hospital. And you know, one time they didn't bring me my bacon. And I'm not that guy, but I was hungry and I called down. I think the lady just thought I was like so fat because I called down, but they didn't bring my bacon. And like, she brought me like this whole plate full of bacon. And then she just put it down on the table. I was like, thank you. And she just like, you're welcome. And she just like marched out. I'm just like, so.
I mean, you ordered it.
I ordered it and they forgot to give it to me. And I'm not, I learned, don't call the kitchen. Don't send stuff back. But
see, that's the thing. Yeah, I learned too, being in the hospital. Even if you're not sure you're going to eat something, I always ordered a little bit extra because there's a chance something else was going to get left off your plate. So then you had to you're like, all right, I don't want this anyways, whatever. But you had to learn to play the game. Like a half hour, your food's there. Sometimes 2 hours, 2.5 hours later, your food is still nowhere to be found. And you're just like.
And I had a backpack and I had like.
Yeah, I always had snacks in the room.
Snacks and Diet Dr. Peppers in there and Diet Mountain Dews. And so anyways, let's get back to the video.
So being that you've tasted food, you're not tasting it, but you kind of know
just from what I saw.
And what you saw, what was on the plate. Let's do a prediction of what we think Laura's going to come in at.
I'm going to come in the 2s.
Yeah.
I'm going to say maybe a 2.7, 2.8. Maybe if I tasted it, it might have been a little bit higher. Maybe a little lower. But
I mean, for me, it's automatically below a 2.5 just because the majority of that plate was green beans. And
John don't touch nothing green.
I don't touch nothing green. So my prediction would be somewhere like around a 2.2, but she might be a little bit higher than that. She probably a little bit healthier eater than me. But let's get back to Laura and let's see what she has to say.
So part 2 of Thanksgiving dinner critique. They say every picture tells a story. So here's the picture.
The plate's still full.
Green beans were cooked perfectly. They were absolutely delicious. Best of the plates. And mashed potatoes and gravy were really good. Apparently, I don't like sage because I took one bite of that, and that's sage. What does it say? Traditional sage bread dressing. So that just tastes gross to me.
Right.
And I noticed I was also promised cranberry sauce, but no cranberry sauce, so that's a ding.
There again.
And then the turkey was really good. It's extremely dry. Like, it'd be delicious if I had some like mayonnaise to dip in it.
That's
why gross, but
yeah.
totally what I would do is I would just like have like a little side of mayonnaise and like dip the dry turkey into it and eat it. So there's that. And then I pretty much just ate the butter out of the roll because why not? And
Can't go wrong with butter.
Thanksgiving.
I did take one bite of the pie just because I'm kind of full and I'm going to save it for later, but the spices were good. Pretty intense. I would say, like I said, green beans were the best part of this. And
how about that?
The pie is pretty decent by itself. So I'm guessing overall, I know, John, you do it a lot, comparing it to like real world versus like hospital world. Because I would want to say 2.7 stars, but then I'm like, it is hospital food, so kind of brings it up to like 3.3 stars. Torn. I'm just gonna go with 3.1. So
3.1.
not too bad.
3.1.
The turkey was extremely dry, like anything, ketchup, mayonnaise. But I would love to have, like, if it was an easy like, hello, can I get some mayonnaise? I totally would have done that. But considering I ordered this at 5:30 and I got it at 7:50, I didn't think the mayonnaise was going to happen.
It's probably done cooking
Anyway,
too at that time.
this was my take to try to be like you guys, and it was really fun. Gave me a little thing to do tonight. Thank you. I'm grateful, and you're in my prayers.
We want to thank you, Laura, for giving us a review. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll be giving you our prayers.
I should be seeing you in clinic soon. And yeah, like we said, sorry you had to be there, but we do appreciate you watching, being a fan of J Bros. It was fun to see the review. Hospital Thanksgiving. We don't have anything planned for Christmas, so let's not make any plans for that.
Yeah.
Like Joe always says,
It's always better when you review it yourself.
Jay Bros out.